Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Zita, and on my channel I'll be sharing a variety of DIYs with you, such as thrift store makeovers, upcycles. I'll be doing some room makeovers and thrift flips for resale, some home decorating, and I'm also going to share some recipes with you guys every now and again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. That way YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. The more DIY friends we have, the better. And you can also follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Etsy at OakWell Home. So today I have a couple of items that I thrifted from the Habitat for Humanity, and I also have an item from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started and see how I made these items over. So my first item here, guys, is this piece of wood that I thrifted at the Habitat for Humanity. I think it was a cupboard door, but there were no handles in it or anything, so no holes in it, so it was a perfect piece of wood. So guys, if you guys are looking for maybe some wood, check out the Habitat for Humanity. If you can't find something like this without the holes in it, you can also buy a cupboard door to make a sign or do whatever you want with. So right here I'm going to be making a sign, and I'm starting out with a couple of coats of black interior paint that I had on hand, and I'm using a roller to give it a nice smooth finish. And I did put a couple of coats on this, so this is when it's dry. So after it's dry, I'm going to put some polyacrylic on here because I want to distress this back once I put the white over the top. And this polyacrylic is going to help, seal in that black paint and when I distress back that white. So here I'm putting I think I put 3 coats actually of this Rust-Oleum white linen chalk paint on here. So this is just after, I think, the first coat. So once I have all my coats on there and it's dry, I'm just taking a wet rag and I'm distressing back that white Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and it's distressing it back to that black that I put on there. And that's going to give it that kind of farmhouse kind of look. So here's what it looks like after the distressing, and I have a stencil here, and I'm going to put some masking tape around, and this little stencil says welcome to our home, and it had some hearts on there too. I'm not going to add the hearts, I'm just going to keep it with the words. So I got my black paint here, but first I'm going to start out with my white paint actually, and I'm going to stencil that all around the words. This is going to help you with preventing bleed through. Okay, so if your sign was black, you would start out with black. Okay, and because it's white, I'm going to start out with white, so then when I put my black on top after that white has dried, what's going to bleed through is the white, the same color as the background. So right here I'm starting with my stencil brush, putting that black paint on after the white is dried. But I switched over to the sponge. I found that was went on a lot nicer. So, and you notice here I only have a little strip of tape on, and you might want to put a strip of tape all along the top, because some of the letters in that where it says welcome, the L's, they go right up to the top. So I think I made the mistake of getting some black paint on the outside. So as you can see here, I put the tape all around the stencil to try and prevent getting any of that paint on the outside. So I'm just using a pouncing up and down method here to put my paint on, and I put a few coats on and let it dry in between. So this is what it looks like after everything is dried. I just peeled it off there before it was completely dry actually. So here I'm just putting a grain sack stripe on the top, and I've placed my 2 pieces of masking tape down here. And as you can see, I didn't put a masking tape on the bottoms there, and you should do that, and I did do that with my little grain sack stripes that I put on after this, and you'll see coming up here what I do. So yeah, just put a little piece of tape on the ends because you're gonna get your paint going outside those edges. So once that was dry, I put my tape halfway over that big stripe and then create a little stripe, grain sack stripe here for on the top of that. So this is where I'm placing the little pieces of tape so the black paint doesn't go outside. Like I can pretty much assure you that's what happened there with that big stripe. So I put 2 little grain sack stripes on each side, and I did give this piece a coat of clear finishing wax as well, which I didn't get in the video there. So the clear finishing wax will seal in your piece and give it a nice finish. So what do you think of this piece, guys? Would you have put this grain sack stripe on the bottom, on the top, or kind of put some on each end? Let me know in the comments. For my second DIY today, I have the same kind of piece of wood, but it's longer than the first piece that I did. So once again, this has no holes in it from any handles or anything like that, and I'm going to give this piece a couple of coats of black paint as well with my roller. This was really fast using this roller instead of the brush. So gave that a couple of coats, let it dry, and then put my polyacrylic on there as well, again, just to seal that black paint in. So this was after the first coat, so as you can see there, it wasn't enough black paint, so I did put a few coats of black paint on there and gave it the coat of polyacrylic, as you can see here. And then I let that dry, and I was going to put a white Rust-Oleum chalk paint on top of this, but I instead changed my mind and decided to stay with the black and instead put a vinyl on this. So I'm using my white 631 Oracle vinyl here. I'm just feeding it through my my cutting machine here, and it's doing its thing. So once that's done, I cut the vinyl. I'm using my metal ruler here and a little scalpel on my cutting mat. And then I'm just cutting out those pieces because it was a little easier to peel back the vinyl this way, guys. Because I find when it's really long like this and you're peeling it back, you do have to kind of cut it to it doesn't always come off in one clean piece. So right here I'm putting my transfer tape on, and I'm going to burnish that down with my burnishing tool here, which is I think it's some kind of little kitchen scraper that I use. I don't have any tools from my cutting machine, so I just went to the dollar store and picked up that scraper, and it works amazing for a burnishing tool. So when you're peeling back your backing from the transfer tape, peel it back on a slant. I find that works the best. Like, keep it flat and then on a slant. So here I'm just placing the vinyl on the piece, and once I get it where I want, I'm just burnishing that down with my scraping tool here. You can also use, an old credit card. So burnish that down, and once again peel back your transfer tape on a slant. And I'm just using a piece of plastic here that I have from a transfer that I keep laying around. I'm just going to burnish that down some more. And once that's done, I'm going to try to put this sawtooth hanger in the back, but this piece of wood, guys, was so hard. This sawtooth nail hanger would not go in. It kept bending them. I tried a couple of them, so I went with a drill, but I might have to get another hanger with some screws in it and try that. But that little sawtooth nail hanger didn't work. So I don't know if you guys know what kind of wood this is that I'm using. I'm thinking maybe walnut. I think walnut is a really hard wood, isn't it? So let me know in the comments what kind of wood you think this is. So right here I'm using an antiquing wax, and I put around that black, all around the black, just to give it some more depth. And there it is, guys. Totally new piece of home decor, or something for resale from an old cupboard door from the Habitat for Humanity. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. And the final DIY today, guys, this little piece of wood is from the dollar store. I'm just peeling off the sticker from the back here. And I didn't really like the color that was on here, so I'm just giving that a couple of coats of white paint. I think I'm just using a white interior paint here that I had on hand. And so I gave that a couple of coats, and for this side I'm just going to use a transfer that I picked up at the dollar store as well, just a little transfer. And so once this paint was dry, then I'm gonna put my transfer on, which you'll see coming up here. So here it is, all dry, and there's the little rub-on transfer. Now this had 3 feathers in it, and I already used one of the feathers on another project. I think it's in one of my other videos where I did some coastal home decor. So I'll leave that video in the description box as well if you want to see that. So I'm getting my transfers in place here, and then I'm burnishing them down with my little kitchen tool here again. And these are so awesome, guys, these little transfers, rub-on transfers, because it makes your projects so quick. So once those are on, I'm just kind of burnishing that down, and here's what this one looks like. Be happy, guys. So that's the final project for today. Let me know what you thought of this little quick project with these transfers. Hope you guys enjoyed all of these DIYs today, guys. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I thank you so much for hanging out with me today and sharing some of your time with me. Don't forget to click that notification bell and hit that subscribe button and the like button, and leave me a comment down below. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.